if you like my video, please like and subscribe my channel. Okay, I want to tell a very interesting thing, that if you need the PDF of this, okay, then you just need to comment down below so that I can understand that you need it, and then I will surely post it or give it to you personally, because कुछ बच्चे हैं बहुत प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट्स करते हैं, तो इसीलिए मैं ओपन नहीं दूंगी. ओके, सो वी कैन स्टार्ट today's lesson. Okay, okay, so I hope you can see this. सो मेटल्स और नॉन मेटल्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, लेकिन फर्स्ट हमें जानना पड़ेगा कि ये जो वस्तु है, ये मेटल्स और नॉन मेटल्स टोटली है क्या, है ना. तो मेटल्स और नॉन मेटल्स में डिफरेंशिएट करना, मैं बोलूंगी कि metals always is on the positive side and non-metals are always on a negative side. Okay, so it will help you remember it. Okay, metals and non-metals both have physical properties. From these, some of these physical properties, we can see how, like, how they are, or how can we understand or differentiate that they are metals or non-metals. I want to tell you another thing, that is metals or non-metals. In between, this is metals, this is non-metals, in between there is two things, that is metalloids. Now, metalloids, what are those? Metalloids are those who which have both properties of metals and non-metals. Both of them should be there. Okay. Next, what are the properties of metals? Let us see. Okay. Let us give a example of metal. For example, aluminium. Okay, I will share the screen later. First, let me tell you what we are going to do today, and then we can do that. Okay, so it is about that. Aluminium. We use aluminium foil to wrap food items or anything else. Why? Because how can these aluminum foils can be made into thin sheets? We need to know that. So they can be made into thin sheets because these are metals, and in metals there is a property, that is malleability. Okay, that is malleability. Okay, so non-metals. Next, we will go to metals and non-metals, which I was telling you that there is a thing called metalloids, which are between metals and non-metals, which I was telling you about. That aluminium, actually aluminium, there is a property called malleability. So when there is a malleability, malleability is a process where it can be bitten into thin sheets, and so it is called no, metals. Okay, so we know that, metals has this one, property, that malleability. But we also know that metals do not have that, right? So metals do not have that. And they are also, you will see, if there is a for example, we'll see that metals also can be drawn into wire. We have seen wires of copper and aluminum. They can be drawn into wires, but coal can't be drawn into wires. So this is what we call, this is the property called ductility. The ductility. So this is the property where metals can be drawn into thin wires or any type of wires. Now from this we definitely know that coal is not a metal. It is a non-metal, because coal can't be made into thin wires, but copper and aluminum can be. So this is, we have learnt about two properties, malleability and ductility here. Okay, so let us move on to the next question. Next property is the luster. Metals has high luster, they shine, but non-metals do not have that. They are very dull. Okay. Now, the strongness of metals and non-metals. Now, this metals have usually has high malleability, ductile. They are usually very solid. But this, I would say, this non-metals are definitely not. They are very brittle and vary in color. Okay, so we understand from this what is metals and non-metals. Another thing, this is a very important thing, that is it has, मतलब कि ये बहुत easily, it can easily conduct, very good conductor of electricity and heat. But there you will see that non-metals can't, right? Okay, metalloids. Now let us come into metalloids. Now what are these metalloids? This will you read. Metalloids. Metalloids have both metals and non-metals properties. They are semiconductors. They are not good conductors, nor poor conductors, nor good insulators, nor poor insulators. They are semiconductors. They are always dull or brittle, and properties depend on the conditions of that type of metals or non-metals which is coming into metalloids. Now metalloids has also another name, that is I would like to tell you, is semi metals. I will give you an example, that is porcenic, next is arsenic. Like this, there are many. I will give you a task. You should find how many metalloids are there, or what are the names of the metalloids, so that you can tell me in our next live classes. Okay, so the next slide. So next slide, I will tell you with examples. Now here is written with examples that metals are solid. Okay. Now, did you ever, मतलब कि आपने कभी भी सोचा है कि मर्क्यूरी भी एक टाइप ऑफ मेटल्स है? जरूर सोचा होगा. ओके, सो लेकिन जो हम कहते हैं कि metals are always solid, but except mercury. Mercury is not solid. It comes in, just a second, it comes in liquid. Okay. Next is metals are hard except lithium, potassium, and sodium. So, from this, we understand that metals are hard. They have a property that they are solids, hard. Next, have a metallic luster. They shine. I just now said they shine. They are malleable. They can be malleable means that they can be beaten into thin sheets. Malleable, for example, aluminium. Aluminium can be beaten into thin sheets. Next are metals are ductile. Ductile is a property where it can be drawn into wires. Example, copper, aluminium. Okay. Next is metals have high melting points, but we know that metals have high melting points, but these two metals, which are gallium and calcium, have a low melting point. Even they will melt in your hand, in the palm of the hand. Why? Because our hand is our body temperature and their body temperature are not the same. Okay. Next is metals have high boiling points. They are good conductors of heat and electricity, both. Okay. But I must say that in metals, this lead and mercury are some, these are some exceptionals. Here I am telling you about some exceptionals. I know my handwriting is bad because I am doing it with a mouse actually. They're exceptional. These are some exceptional, like metals have, some metals like lead and mercury are poor conductors of heat, and in silver and copper are the best conductors of electricity in metals. And metals are obviously sonorous because they can produce sound. What is sonorous? Sonorous is to produce a sound when uh, beaten. Okay. For example, since metals, why? Because the metals produce ringing sounds. For example, this is a metal. I do it like this. This will create a, sonorous, a sound, a ringing sound that is happening here. Okay. Next is about non-metals. Non-metals may be in any stage of stage, like liquids, solids, gases, or any three states can be there. Let me tell you, it can be solid, which is carbon, sulfur, phosphorus. There can be, and then liquid can be bromine. Gases can be oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen. These are the main. Actually, there are many non-metals, but these are the main, you know, non-metals which we called are non-metals, which we find actually. Okay, non-metals are soft or very brittle, except one non-metal. One non-metal, which is the one non-metal? It is the diamond, used in making of jewelry. Okay, next. Next, let us move on. That is, it does not have luster, it does not actually shine, but except this iodine crystals. Sorry, iodine crystals. Except this, non-metals have luster. They are absolutely not malleable nor ductile. I will give you an example of coal, for example. They are not malleable, like they can't be beaten into sheets. They are not ductile, they can't be beaten into thin, wires. Non-metals, which are solids and liquids, have low melting point. They also have a low boiling point of solids and liquids. Gases are very rare in non-metals. Next is non-metals are very bad conductors of electricity, and except there is an except here, which is this graphite. Okay, and they do not make any sound. For example, a non-metal, I will give you, like wooden bells. When you do tongue, it will not create a sound, right? So they are not sonorous. Okay, let me give you an example. Have you ever thought that in temples, why is there matlab ki, no wooden bells, all are metal bells? Because metals create uh, sounds, but non-metals do not create any type of sounds. So now let us move on to the next slide, which is we will do about reaction with oxygen. Now, what are the reactions? So the first is metals react with oxygen to form metallic oxides here. Okay, I will give you an example. Okay, so for example, iron plus oxygen plus water is equal to something. Okay, let me give you a task. You should write this out. That is iron plus oxygen plus H2O is equal to what will be the full complete it. Okay, another I am giving, that is Mg magnesium plus oxygen. What will it make? Okay, let me tell you, this will make magnesium oxide. Magnesium oxide. Okay, this is on also reaction with oxygen, O2, magnesium oxide. Okay, another is copper plus oxygen. It makes copper oxide. This one, copper oxide. Okay, next is aluminium. When it is heated, this is aluminium plus oxide. It makes aluminium oxide. Okay, so we understand what is the reaction with oxygen. I want you to tell me in the chat box, the first one, this one, what will be the total reaction? I'm telling it again. It is iron plus oxygen plus water. Fe, which is iron, plus oxygen, which is O2, plus which is H2O. O2. Okay, so I think we can move on to the next one, which is non metals reacting with water. Okay, there are many. Okay, what happens when it is 2Na plus 2H2O, which is hydrogen, is equal to 2NaOH plus H2. Then 2K plus H2O equals to 2KO, H plus H2. Next is Ca plus H2O is equal to CaH. OH whole twice plus H2. Okay, next we can move. Next is reaction with acids. Now, what are the reaction with acids? Let us see that. Now, in reaction with acids, what happens? Reactions with acids, what happens is, for example, Mg plus 2HCl is equal to, it will be MgCl2 plus H2. Right? Am I right? Okay. Next, you can read this, and there is a activity given in your textbook, and I want you to give me the answer of that uh, activity. In the next class, I will surely discuss all the activities given in your book and some outside activities from me. Okay, so please join, and if you want that, please जस्ट कमेंट बिलो, लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब. और मैं एक बात बोलती हूँ, आपका हाथ ह्यूमन मतलब कि ब्लड से बना है, मसल्स से बना है. ओके, सो नेक्स्ट वी कैन मूव. Next is about the reaction of metals and metal salt solution. Okay, another thing that हाथ तो आपका सॉरी, हाथ आपका मसल से बना है, तो हमारा जो लाइक बटन है ना, वो बिल्कुल भी किसी केमिकल से नहीं बनाया. आप करोगे तो कोई करोड़ नहीं करेगा, करोशन नहीं होगा. बस अब करोगे तो आप हमें हैप्पी करोगे, और हम जब हैप्पी होंगे तो आपको हम पढ़ा सकते हैं, स्टडी करवा सकते हैं, हेल्प कर सकते हैं आपके स्टडी मटेरियल्स पे. ओके, ठीक है. So let's move to the next topic. Okay, next is reaction of metals and metal salt solution. This is an important thing, I guess, that a more reactive metal displaces a less reactive metal, and we know what we are talking about. Okay, so let me tell you that, for example, magnesium plus copper from copper sulfate solution. Okay. Next is zinc displaces copper from copper sulfate solution. What is the, why does, why can zinc displace copper from copper sulfate solution but not copper from copper displaces zinc from copper sulfate solution? But because here this zinc is more reactive, I'm sorry, but this is more, and this is, I'm writing L, that means it is less reactive. This is more reactive, and this is less reactive. Okay, next is iron displaces copper from copper sulfate solution. Here also iron is more, but copper is less reactive. So that is why iron can displace it from copper sulfate solution. Now I want you to give a activity suggestion to me. Okay, what is the activity suggestion? It is that, for example, I will give you three names of uh, metals. Now you need to help me with sequencing it from more reactive to less reactive among zinc, iron, and copper, which are given here. Okay, I hope you can see this. So let me tell you, here you see, from this only we can understand, like zinc displaces copper, iron also displaces copper. That means copper is at the last of the sequence. Now you just need to tell me about, is it zinc or iron which is up or down. You just need to tell me that. Okay, I will wait for your answers. I will nahi nahi nahi. Okay, but I read each and every comment that you do, and uh, in my previous classes, this is a new platform. This is a new I'm doing in YouTube, but are my students who were there, so they used to love me. Why? Because I used to first do the chapter and then do a mentee, and then I would give each and every answer, even if it's hi or hello. I always give it. So no need to worry. Okay. Next we can move, which is reaction with dilute acids. Okay. What is the reaction? What can be the reaction of sodium, magnesium, and calcium react violently with hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid, liberating hydrogen gas and melt salt? There are three uh, metals which can react violently with hydrochloric acid or diluted sulfuric acid. What are the three acids? Which are sodium, magnesium, and calcium. These are the three things which can react with diluted sulfuric acid or hydrochloric sulfuric acid and make hydrogen gas or uh, what do I say? Metal salt. Now I need to tell you something. Here it is written G. G means gas, and the sign of gas is this, upwards. This is the sign of gas. Okay, I hope you are understanding it. Next, it is about the aluminum and zinc react with dilute HCl, hydrochloric acid, or dilute H2SO4, liberating hydrogen gas and corresponding metal salt. So aluminum and zinc, when together, are combined with diluted hydrochloric acid or diluted H2SO4, anyone, it forms only two things, which is a corresponding metal salt. It should be not only metal but a metal salt, and also hydrogen gas. Okay, so here are some of the, you see, here are some of the examples of these. I want you to learn this. Okay, I'm not explaining this because here is nothing to explain. You just need to remember this, you need to memorize this, you need to remember, you need to thoroughly memorize this. Okay, so we can move on to the next slide, which is number 3. Iron reacts slowly. Yes, this is very important, that iron will react very much slowly with dilute HCl or diluted H2SO4. Okay, now this there are some reactions given where iron plus HCl is given. It makes FeCl2 plus hydrogen. It makes hydrogen gas. I told you, remember what is the sign of a gas? Right? I hope you remember it. Okay. So next comes here is number 4. Copper does not react with these acids. Okay, copper does not react. No reaction is formed when, for example, copper plus hydrochloric acid. no reaction happens. Copper plus diluted, this AQ you see here, this AQ is the, we called it, this is written as diluted, diluted, sorry, okay, whatever, diluted. Okay, now there is an exception, you need to note this, this is a note here. Okay, the dilute nitric acid is an oxiding agent. This is not given in your textbook, so please listen, and nobody will give this to you because this is totally, found out by me. Okay, so dilute nitric acid is an oxiding agent, but it does not produce hydrogen with metals. So there is an exception. So we can tell that there is an exception in this case, and our, exception in this case, in this case of Mg and Mn, which is magnesium and magnesium. Next is a reactive series of metals. We learned, I told you about that, which one is, I want you to sequel it according to which one is more reactive and less reactive. That one, that is what, zinc, iron and copper, I think. Yes, so here is also a reactive series of metals. So the arranging of metals in the decreasing order of their reactivity is called reactivity series of metals. Reactivity metals. Just a second. There is a problem, I think. Okay, so this is what we are likely to taught you. The arranging, this I need you to take a screenshot. I think you have taken a screenshot. From the next class, I will start with this only, this topic only. First we will do some recapitulation and then we will start it. So this is the end of my class. I hope you have liked it. Okay, menti abhi मैं नहीं करवा रही हूँ. menti मैंने आगे मैंने बहुत करवाए है, लेकिन अभी नहीं कराऊंगी क्योंकि बहुत सारे बच्चे नहीं है, बहुत कम बच्चे हैं. तो जब 200 होंगे तभी मैं पढ़ाऊंगी, तभी मैं मेंटी करूंगी. और मैंने आपको बोला है, मेरा गोल है कि मैं एक मेंटी करूंगी जब हमारा पूरा सिलेबस हो जाएगा. मैं एक 50 क्वेश्चंस टोटल और 100 क्वेश्चंस टोटल के मेंटी मेंटी करवाऊंगी. तो उसके लिए प्लीज मेरा, उसके लिए नोटिफिकेशन आने के लिए प्लीज सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और लाइक बटन जरूर दीजिए. Okay, so this is the end of my class. Thank you. Let's meet up on the next class.